Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following confession, it is a translation of a message that was sent to us by our dear sister, translated by our admin, and it reads like this. I lived with a man whom I did not even know yet died. The man that I lived with here in South Africa, I eventually went to his home with him in Malawi, and when I arrived there, I was told that the guy, he was dead. I have also come with my story. I am a woman that is aged 34 years old. I am currently staying here in Joburg, but home it is in KwaZulu-Natal. I was here in Joburg when I met a man from Malawi. His name is Dennis. And then we fell in love right there and then. We had our 2 kids. I'm thinking about taking these kids for DNA. I don't think that the kids belong to a dead man. There is a guy that I had sex with whilst I was with Dennis. I think that he might be the father of my kids, but he is also from Malawi. Guys, I hope that he is not also a dead man like my boyfriend. So Dennis and I, we lived together for 6 years. During my living with Dennis, I never went to his home in Malawi. Who goes there? I was just there for the money. Honestly speaking, I even had my own South African boyfriend, but he was broke and poor. So it started with me just cheating. I just wanted someone that could assist me with money to do my nails, to do my hair, and money so that I can go out with my friends. I never imagined that it was ever going to reach a point whereby I will be cohabitating with Dennis. Dennis, he was someone that was not rich, I can say, but he had money. When I met him, he was not rich, but by the time that he passed away, he left behind some things that I'm still using in the business that me and him, we were doing, the business that he taught me. So whenever I wanted money, he would make sure that I have that money in time. And whenever it was during holidays, instead of him going back to his country in Malawi, he will just stay in Joburg, whilst I would return back to the rural areas where I come from in KZN. So we never spoke really about going to Malawi, me and Dennis, because ever since he had came to South Africa, he had never returned back to his country in Malawi. But he told me that he had a wife there, and he would say that by now I think that she is already married because I have been in this country for far too long. Honestly speaking, apart from the other Malawians that I knew that were his friends, there were no other relatives of Dennis that I knew. So this past month, he then said he wants me to know their home. I'm just changing the dates because I'm so scared that people who know me, they might laugh at me that this one was staying with a zombie from Malawi. So I will say that the past month, he said that he wanted me to go with him so that the kids can get to know where their father comes from. And I did not refuse. I was actually happy, and I said that, okay, it's fine, we can go there. I just wanted to go and see Malawi. Honestly speaking, even though I have like no following on TikTok, I was planning to start maybe content creation, documenting and vlogging as I'll be going there to Malawi. But what I found in Malawi, it even made me to forget my phone in that country, and I returned back with my other phone, the one that I had bought for content and the videos. I forgot it there because I was shocked. We left together, me, Dennis, the kids, and we went to Malawi. My kids have passports. I also have my South African passport, but he did not have anything. So we had to use this scrap of a bus from Malawi. I can say that even the driver, I suspect that he did not even have a passport, because when we arrived at the border, all the borders until we were in Malawi, there was always someone else that would drive the bus, and the bus driver would be on the passenger seat, just like other Malawians that did not have any passports. I can say that I was the only one that was documented. That bus, it was moving maybe 2 kilometers an hour. You could get off from the bus and follow it, and you could even arrive in Malawi before it would have arrived. Anyway, we arrived in Malawi and we got off the bus at the shops. Dennis said that let us leave the groceries, because we had a lot of groceries as well as other things that we had bought here in South Africa. He said that he was going to look for a pushcart and he was going to return back with that pushcart or with a car that he would have hired so that we can go to his village. So I waited and I waited. When he came back with another guy, and then he said that there was someone else that he wanted to go and call. Since the guy that I was with the pushcart, he knew where he was supposed to take us to. So I started to follow that man with my kids, and we arrived in the village. It was not a very long distance, maybe about 3 kilometers that we walked from the shopping center. And when we arrived there, I expected that Dennis, he was supposed to be somewhere, but he was not anywhere. We had left other bags as well at the other shop because there were a lot. So I thought that he just wanted to take care of the other groceries as well as the bags. When I arrived at his house, right there, I was shocked to learn that the man that I called Dennis in South Africa, his real name is called Johnny. I was shocked when I entered the yard right there. I spoke with the parents and I started to greet them with a little bit of their language that he used to teach me, just the greeting and a few words. I started to explain in English. Dennis's parents, they looked at each other when I was telling them that I had arrived from South Africa and I had been staying with their son, and I had left their son Dennis at the shopping center, and he had not yet arrived because he was still looking for his other relatives that he wanted them to know that he was back home. And they said, so strange that he traveled with you all the way from South Africa, and then he finds an excuse that you arrive here alone. His parents explained to me that their child died a long time ago. 14 years ago, he had died of an accident right there in Malawi, in that same village. I thought that you are lying. His parents went out with me, and the villagers and the relatives, they showed me a grave. On the grave, it was actually written Johnny, the name that he had never told me, the name that they had told me that it is his real name. This Dennis, they don't know that name. When they showed me the grave that belonged to Dennis, my strength, it even felt. Saliva even dried in my mouth. They continued and said that it is good that you have come like this. Maybe they thought that me and him, we had once dated when he was still alive. So I told them that no, the years that you are talking about, it is very different. If you say that he died 14 years ago, he used to come to South Africa. Look at the kids. My eldest one, he is only 6 years old. So how is it possible that if he died 14 years ago, then we have this child who is 6 years, that is the firstborn? I did not even know him 14 years ago when he used to come and work in South Africa. Anyway, they just said that they were going to do some traditional rituals and they celebrated. I could not even understand why were they even celebrating the kids now, whom they were saying that the man that had impregnated me died many years ago. So they gave me some traditional medicine. I started to feel dizzy. They said that I should not be afraid. All was going to be well. And then I started to see an owl that was flying around me. At that point, I was thinking of running away. They made me to enter into this other room where they said that you can rest. They took my kids and they started to do some rituals on them. They were giving them some charms. And I then had a dream. I saw my grandmother. She was running very fast. She came into the room where I was and she was like, please do not mention my real name. She was like, Zinhle, wake up right now. Where are my grandkids? Make them to get on my back. Let me take you back home. I don't know where my strength came from, because when I woke up, when I went to this other mud hut, it was the kitchen, the main kitchen at that compound. They were telling me that the kids, they can stay with them, and if I wanted to return back to my country, they were going to allow me to return back to South Africa. So they just said that we were going to do other rituals the very next day. They started drinking alcohol, but it seemed as if my grandmother, she just made these people not to even notice me, because I was right there with them. They stopped giving me attention and they stopped giving my kids any attention at all. That was when I got the courage to walk away. Even the dogs were not barking. That is why I say that I forgot even my phone. The only thing that was close by was a small bag which I was keeping close to me, which had my passport as well as some money. And then I just got out of the yard with my kids, and one of my child was even vomiting. And we returned back to the shopping center. We got into this other vehicle. All that I could think of was just running away. I asked that man where I could get a bus that was going to South Africa. He said in Blantyre. So we traveled from that village and we went to the city. We arrived late at night. It was so late. The man then said that he was going to drop me at a guest house. The money that I had, it was nearly finished. I slept at that guest house. We did not even eat anything, because I knew that if I was going to use that money to buy some food, then it meant that we won't be able to get the money for the bus ticket to return back to South Africa. Early next morning, that man, he came and he dropped us off at the rank where we got onto a bus, and I returned back to South Africa. When I think about the way that I met this man from Malawi, it seems as if even my ancestors, they did not even want me to date this man. Brother Nashim, I had my own boyfriend whom I said that he was a South African guy, and we had dated ever since we were still in college, but he was really poor and he was lazy to work. He did not even have anything. He was good at fixing laptops. I even told him to go into town to work with other like Pakistans who were fixing laptops, but he was lazy. He said that the money that they are giving to me, it is not worth it. So he was just staying in the location. He was making me to suffer. I would work and he would wait for my salary. I would buy him alcohol, I would buy him cigarettes, and I was tired of living such a life whereby I'll be sleeping with other men so that I can take care of my real boyfriend. Since I am someone that also wanted a good life, and then I saw that I was wasting my time with that boyfriend of mine, I then ran away from KZN and I came to Joburg looking for a better life. When I was now in Joburg, that was when I met this Malawian guy. And the day that he proposed to me, I started to see that there was a big difference between my South African boyfriend and this Malawian new guy that was in my life. As for Dennis, he was someone that was very resourceful. He was someone that knew how to find money. And he was very clever. He never did one job. He was always doing multiple jobs at the same time. I used to accompany him. If he could get a job to paint a house, he would even tell those people that he can do their garden, and he was never at home. He was always working. He would give me a lot of money if I would go with him. If I was assisting him to paint the house, he would give me money, even if it meant that I did not work a lot like his girlfriend. I would be there with him, just talking, and he would be working, and he would pay me a lot of money, more than I used to get paid when I was working for this other China at the China Mall. So I then dumped my boyfriend and I started to stay with Dennis. As for Dennis, he was someone that was not having any papers in South Africa. That one I knew very well. But I remember that the very first day when I went to his place where he was staying for a sleepover, there is something that happened to me that I could not understand, that I have now come to understand, that the day that I slept with him, I went on my period, and I had never had any heavy bleeding like the way that I was bleeding. I started to bleed whilst he was on top of me. Then we did not sleep together anymore throughout the night because I was already on my period. And I had a terrible headache, one that could not even explain where this headache was coming from. It was not normal. I tried your Panado, I tried Grandpa, it did not even work. It felt as if there was someone that was burning a fire inside of my head, as if there was someone that was putting nails into my brain. I slept, and when I woke up, I was vomiting. Just like the way that I said that my child, when we were returning back to South Africa, started to vomit black stuff. That is exactly what was happening to me when I was at Dennis's house the first night. And I did not know what was happening to me. Then the dreams started. The kind of dreams that I was having, they were really terrible and they were scary. I would see dancing figures, in brackets probably Nyau dancers, that would come into my bedroom, and then they would take me and go with me to a graveyard, and I would have a dream where I would be placed on top of a grave, and those dancers, they would be dancing around the grave as if I was being initiated and they wanted me to be a dead person. I would even see a dead person coming to me, and then he would give me flowers. I would have terrible dreams whereby I would be digging up graves using my own hands, and when I would wake up, I would see that I have blisters underneath my nails. The reason why I no longer keep those long nails, I would wake up and I would see that underneath them there would be sand and soil. I would have dreams where I would even be walking with dead people, speaking strange language, and I would even see myself being buried, and I would see black people wearing black clothes as they were crying at my funeral, and I would even see myself inside of the coffin. Whenever I would have these dreams, it was so scary. There was this other day when I saw myself, I was pushed into a sewer, and it was really terrible. Inside there, it was smelly. When I even spoke with my boyfriend, he said that, those are just dreams. Maybe you're just feeling cold. When it is winter, it happens that you can have these nightmares. There were things that were happening to my boyfriend that I could not even understand. One day, Brother Nashi, we were in bed, and when I woke up, I found out that he was nowhere to be found. And I saw that the door, it was properly locked. I even checked it. Even the key, it was on the door. We had not removed it, and we had burglars on our bedroom, each and every window. There was no way that he would have gone out. But when I returned back from the bathroom, it was an in-suit, and then I noticed that he was back in the bed again. I asked him, Where were you? He said, I was here. The other thing right now, like I said, that me and Dennis, we had some assets together. We have 5 Uber cars. These cars, when he was still with me, the cars, they were moving properly, no problems, no nothing. Some of them were being driven by the Malawians and others by 2 South Africans. These cars, ever since I returned back from Malawi, Brother Nashi, I don't know what is happening. We are no longer working like the way that we are working. All of them, they are always having one problem after the other, another problem after the other. Even another mechanic, he said that he has never seen a woman with so much bad luck. What surprises me, Brother Nash, is that whenever I speak about my husband, Dennis, there is no one who seems to remember him. It is only I that can remember him. And as for the kids that I say, that I suspect that another Malawian guy, there was a Malawian mechanic who used to fix our cars. I slept with him, and that is how I found out that I was pregnant. But I don't know if the kids are his, or maybe the kids, they belong to Dennis. I just want to know, is it possible that you can be impregnated by a spirit or not? I need your advice. What kind of cleansing am I supposed to do so that I can be okay? I'm scared to even tell my family, since they never knew that I was staying with a Malawian man who passed away. Is it possible that people from Malawi, they can make their relatives to wake up so that they can come to South Africa and then they can work as ghosts, or no? I need your advice. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister. Let us speak with him in the comment section. If you are from Malawi, have you ever heard about something like this, that a woman comes after so many years and then the woman claims that she had kids with a man who had once left your country to go and work in another country? If so, you can come and you can tell us your story at Brother Nashi on TikTok as well as on Facebook. She is asking, how do I get cleansed? If you are from KZN, if it happens that someone has been sleeping with a dead person, what do you do? What form of cleansing is supposed to be done? What kind of prayers is that person supposed to receive? You can help us, or you can come to our inbox and you share with us your own story. Let us meet again in the following episode.